Hello, ladies and gentlemen, CaptainShack here, and welcome to this sponsored video for Starpoint Gemini Warlords. Now, this is sponsored one. Iceberg Interactive contacted me and said, hey, you should try out our new space game. Since I love space games, I said, sure, why not? Now, this is an early access title. Just came out recently. As of making this video, this is version 5.502. So there's not a whole lot here, but what is here is pretty cool. What they did, and a while back, I actually spotlighted Starpoint Gemini 2 when it came out. What they're doing is they're taking that engine, it looks like, and taking a lot of the assets from that, and creating what a lot of the fans and a lot of people like myself who played it said, man, wouldn't it be cool if this game had these features? And we'll talk about those features in just a second. And they said, okay, we're gonna take all those concepts, we're gonna make a game out of it. And that's what Warlords is really turning into. This is a community-driven project to implement features to this game based on what the community wants. Like, that's the entire focus of Warlords. That's why it's like an offset game from the original franchise. All right, so let's go ahead and go to new game. I do have quite a few hours already logged into this, but I wanted you guys to hear the voice acting that's in this. But this is the only scenario there is in early access. It's a quick tutorial, story-driven tutorial, and then it goes right into just the sandbox elements of having a whole universe to fight over and explore. You'll get fleets, you'll be able to upgrade your space station, you'll be able to upgrade your ships, there's a variety of ships to choose from, and then you'll be able to conquer other sectors of space with your fleet. It's got some neat concepts that we really haven't seen since something like X3 series, like X3 Albion Prelude. Now, this region that they're showing off here is actually the region that you'll start with and have control over. I like the cargo ships. Sadly, in the sandboxy elements of this, I have not seen those cargo ships again. And I was hoping that there'd be like an active economy, something like X3 has, where you actually see these transports moving back and forth, you can pirate them, you can do whatever you want. There's your space station. So far, I've only found one space station that you can upgrade and customized, and that would be this one right here. Now, I hope they add more stations that you can build and have a little bit more in the way of an economy and a customization of your empire, because right now it's very simple. But I'll go into those mechanics once we get through the tutorial. When you customize the station, you actually attach different pieces to it. But when you start off, the station pieces, the individual bits, cost a ton. We're talking in the millions of credits, and you only get maybe 40 to 70,000, some missions up to 100,000, at least where I am at in the game, per mission. So it takes a while to unlock just about anything. Even the ships, like this great battleship right here.
Docking clamps disengaged successfully. Final checkup can commence. SCS Icarus proceed with departure.
So the Icarus here would cost me millions and millions of credits to buy.
Engineering, begin main system startup.
Aye, sir.
Primary sensor grid is online. Powering shields.
Voice acting's a little hit and miss in this. The effects are nice and the combat's a lot of fun.
Detecting minor fluctuations in the shield matrix. Concordia, please advise.
Fluctuations noted for post-flight examination. Continue with the startup, Icarus.
Roger that, Concordia. Engineering, prepare for main engine start on my mark. Mark. Main engine burn looks good. No abnormal readings. Helm, mark course and proceed.
Aye, sir. Proceeding as planned.
Aye, sir. Now, in this title, the ships that you get, they don't start at fighter class. You can get fighters for your capital ships, and you can actually dispatch them out of your ship and actually have a carrier.
Good luck, Icarus.
But you won't be
Make the
flying anything
Concorde
smaller
proud.
than what I think they consider a frigate in this. But the frigates are so
Icarus
maneuverable, they feel like
ships.
fighters compared to the
Fall in
larger
line.
ships in the game. So, strangely enough, they start you in this ship, WASD to move around, Q and E to roll your ship. So you have 3 degrees of movement. You can pull up, you can hit spacebar and actually directly control. It gives you more of like a yoke feeling to it. So you can pull up or you can dive down with your mouse. I kind of prefer with a ship like this one Let's get ahead and use the middle mouse wheel to turn on our engines and get up to about half speed. They want us to head over here. You can click targets to lock onto them or nav points like that to grab onto that, and it'll tell you the distance from.
Please assume your position.
I'm moving. Tab will change your view perspective, so I just changed it from a lock-on camera to a side camera. I prefer this with the larger vessels because you can actually see what your turrets are firing at. If you hit F, and these are controls that took me a little while to figure out, you'll actually kick on all your weapons to fire automatically. Your turrets will shoot any target that they see. So this is kind of like a nice view. You can actually control your ship with WAS and D while spinning the camera around with your mouse. You feel like you're in more command of a larger vessel that way instead of flying like this, which is your... Let me hit tab here. There's your lock-on camera. This is more like a fighter perspective, which is kind of cool. Right-click to fire whatever weapons you have. Now, this won't be the ship that they start you with. This is just the tutorial ship. I wish they started you with this one because I find it a little bit more interesting than, say, the fighter that they give you, which is more of like a gunship. Super maneuverable and fast, but personal preference.
It was about time, Higgs.
Yeah, I'm slow. What do you want from me?
Escort vessel is in position. Icarus proceeding to waypoint. Icarus to Cyrene. Follow closely, but not too close. We don't want to scratch the fresh paint off the first ever Concorde battleship in its trial run.
Roger that, sir. We'll be careful.
Like I said, the voice acting's a little hit and miss. Some of them are all right, and some of them are just like, All right, we're going to increase our speed. Don't want to pass them, though. And this tutorial will let you run through it. You've got two modes of flight. You've got this, which is your sublight, and then you can hit B and jump into your actual sublight engines versus just your normal cruise engines. And you'll be able to catch up pretty quickly. A little hard to get exact speed with these guys. I wish I had a match speed button, but not quite there. You can run into these asteroids. They are physically there. Unlike a lot of old space sims where you just kind of clip through them.
Take a good look at this ship, Miss Higgs. Soon we'll have a whole armada of these.
He's not talking about our ship. He's talking about the battleship that's in front of us.
I wouldn't complain flying one of those, sir.
There's not a whole lot of campaign to this just yet in the early access. It's basically just this intro. So instead of playing through this entire tutorial, which is a lot longer than I actually remember it being, I'm going to load up my main save and show you guys what the main game, the sandbox elements of this game actually have. So we're gonna go to my save number 7. I'm about 4 or 5 hours in. Now I'm a lot farther into this than this says, but I've had multiple crashes and I had one save issue in the early access. So bear that in mind. You're gonna run into a few hiccups along the way. Let's go ahead and load this up. Now in this save, yeah, I'm about 4 hours into it. I've been doing a few side missions, which I'll show you how the side missions work, and then we'll talk about fleet control and how you take over territory. Because that's kind of the draw of this right now. It's one of the few games out there where you can actually take over the whole universe if you really want to. There we go. I'm in the ship that they're going to start you in once you get through the tutorial. Let me hit tab here and switch to a... should be... There we go. You can use your plus and minus keys on your numpad to zoom in here. This is a gunship. It's actually pretty damn powerful, especially once you upgrade the weapons. I've upgraded to some nasty... kind of like plasma launchers, these big-ass weapons. They do 150, 180 damage a shot, and I've got 4 of them locked on here. Then I've got a heavy weapon missile launcher attached somewhere. I'm not sure if you actually see the heavy weapon on here anywhere, but I dig the design of it. I really want to get into something larger, but what you're going to see in just a second, let me see where I'm at right now. I'm at an enemy space station, actually, but if I was to dock up at our station, which is way back here, Concordia HQ, I could show you... the other ship costs and how expensive they are. There's only about 7 or 8 ships in there that you can buy from. It might not even be that many. And so far, that's the only place that I've seen that you can buy. But if I zoom out, you can see how big the map is. The map is massive in this. I mean, every one of these small like squares, these areas that you can take over, each have like a command center. This is the command center right here. And if you fight over these, and you can take them out with your fleet versus their fleet versus the garrison that's in that fleet. Once you take the fleet out, then you actually board it and take it over. But then you'll get access to the entire area. Like this section here, if we zoom into the bottom here, I actually took this over earlier today by fighting over this. Now, an issue that I run into with this is I control 3 zones, but say I want to take over this zone right here. I have no indication of how strong the defense is on that zone. I don't even know if there is a huge difference. I have run into the fact that I have not been able to take this. This fleet here at this garrison is just too much for us to take out, yet I was able to take out this one. Now, there is a way to compare fleet sizes. If I click on my fleet, which is this one right here, I've got a fleet power of 217, and if you see an enemy fleet, which I don't think I have any on screen right now, you can collect them and get an idea of how strong they are. But what you don't see is how strong a garrison is. So say I want to take this area over. The more areas that you control, the more money that you make. If I put my mouse up here, you'll actually see I've got a zone income of 15 credits a second and a maintenance cost of 6 credits. I think maintenance is based on how many fleets you have. I only have 1 fleet, and I have not been able to build a tactical center at our space station, just because it's millions and millions of credits, and as you can see, I've only got 85,000 credits on hand. So let's go ahead, though. Let's get a fleet battle started. I'm going to select this fleet, where you can right-click to tell them where to go. Pretty simple. This hit and miss. I've never actually seen my fleet move around in the world when doing this, but when you do this, now I've ordered them to go to this garrison, and watch how quickly they get here. Affirmative, Commander. We'll be on location in no time. And that's the fleet leader. So he'll be here in no time. I have my objective. Go here. I'll start moving toward there. And if I check the map, they're already there. There's almost no wait time. So, all right, let's switch into a locked camera from behind and actually engage. Once I get close enough, the battle will start. We'll be able to fight over this. Now, what I'd like to see in this that isn't implemented yet is some way of hurting the enemy force that's there. Right now, we basically just jump into a fight. There's the friendly fleet moving in. We jump into a fight, no idea how strong the enemy is, and hope for the best. Turning my weapons on auto fire. When you're in combat, or even if you're not in combat, you can switch your power out between defenses, weapons, and speed and engines. And you can actually move this around to choose how you want it. I'm going to go a little bit harder into shields and weapons, so we'll bring it down to about here. I'm not worried about being too fast. So there we go. That way my shields regenerate. The friendly fleet is taking the majority of the damage. When you have it on auto fire, like I have it now, your turrets will just randomly pick targets. And that's kind of like the big negative with having your gunners decide what you're going to fire at, because you're not going to focus fire. It's going to take you a lot longer to kill stuff. I have upgraded my weapons on this, so we're doing actually a considerable amount of damage. We may actually win this one because this is a different fleet than last time I attacked it. Interesting. Last time I had 2 destroyers. They were a different type of destroyer, and they had a hell of a lot more weapons. We're going to go ahead and switch to manual fire. I'm going to zoom in, get into that fighter perspective, and we'll start making a few attack runs. Now, for anybody who's played a game like Star Trek Online, you'll probably recognize the shield mechanics in this game. We have 4 different distinct shields, port, starboard, forward, and aft. And as you take damage on those sides, they'll start to lose their percentage. What you don't have in this, and I hope they added, is the ability to reinforce some shields during combat. Allowing you to, like, double up, double front those forward shields when you're going into a heavy fire situation while weakening the back shields. I would love to see that. Let me take manual control over. These weapons kind of suck for accuracy. Sometimes it's better that I fire it myself. I find if you fire it yourself, you'll also fire a little faster. And that target is down. Ships do have weaknesses and strengths. The ship that I'm piloting right now, its big weakness is it can only use its top turrets. There are no bottom turrets, so I always have to have the top kind of facing the enemy. It kind of reminds me of a Star Destroyer in Star Wars. You've got all your weapons on the top of the hull. On the bottom, that's where you want to be if you're the enemy doing damage, because there's really no weapons or very light weapons underneath there. I'm hoping the rest of the ships are like this. Like I said, this is the starter ship, and I can't afford to buy a new ship. They are so beyond what I make right now. Now, I'm hoping we'll be able to capture this base, and it'll increase our income, and I'll be able to actually afford to buy some new ships. And the ships that I can buy are, at the moment, ships just for me. Oop, a little too close. Let me move away, and then make an attack run back in. So we're going to go ahead, switch power to engines. You can dodge rounds. And let's make our attack run. So we're going to go ahead and bring that in there. And let's do this. So, turning off auto fire. I want to take out the escorts. Our mission here, okay, they have 2 large escort ships. So we can probably come in behind them, jump in with our fleet here, and just start pounding on these guys. What are you guys firing at mainly? That targeter shows that he has all his shields. The green is his hull. So we're not doing any real damage there. Looks like the fleet has been focus firing on this fella. Let's fire our heavy weapon, which is a missile launcher. A little bit of damage there. We're about to lose our rear shield. Now, when I first started playing this, I was complaining a lot about how the shield like display is on this. It's really hard to see what the percent is of your rear shield because it's upside down. It's also right there in your camera, unless you play like this, which is the unlocked camera. But then I noticed, if you look at your radar in the bottom left-hand corner, it shows your shields on the bars. Those are actually your shields there. So let's go ahead and make another attack run. We still have 4 friendlies, 2 enemies, but the 2 enemies are pretty well off right now. The smaller Horus class, launch a torpedo, auto fire on, has taken some damage. Notice I have this guy targeted, but my ship's turrets are firing at this. I would like to be able to target certain ships with my turrets and say, hey, turrets, focus fire on this guy. That would be nice. Actually, maybe I can. Let me try. Mark target. Designate target objective for fighters. Fighter wings. See, that's fighter wings. I don't know if that works with my turrets. We're going to find out. The enemy isn't focusing on me, so let's go ahead and pour all our power into weapons. You know, that might have worked, that marked target. I thought it was just for ordering your fighter wings around, but apparently not. Now, at the moment, I have no control over my fleet, and this is where the alpha needs a lot of work, in my opinion. The cool thing about this is that I could take over the universe, right? I can build these fleets, I can get multiple fleets going, but so far, I have no customization of my fleet. I can build a tactical command center, and the description of that, let's kick off a couple abilities, up my damage, my DPS with this ability right here. Actually used up all my other damage increasing components that I had. I'm going to have to replenish those. But yeah, I can't really customize my fleet. I mean, something like X3 Albion Prelude, older game, but what it really pulls you in is how you can customize the individual ships that you buy and fill out your fleet the way you want. So if you want to be like carrier heavy or fighter heavy, you could do that. In this so far, I haven't found anything, unless it's part of that tactical command center that I talked about. I haven't seen that kind of customization. Now, I was gonna wait on doing this spotlight until I had a chance to upgrade the space station and see a lot of the options in this. But, and the reason I decided I ended up deciding to just go ahead and make the video, is because it takes too long to feel like you're making any type of progress with your fleet. Millions of credits, really, to get any type of upgrade or to buy a new ship it's just too much, guys. It really is too much. And I know the devs are looking for feedback on this. At the very least, allow us to buy like fighter fleets and upgrade them. You know, light, small ships that we can do attacks with. We just lost a friendly there. He did drop some loot, though, so what we're probably gonna do is run over here and loot our dead companion. Oh, my cargo's full. Shit. I still need to sell some stuff from my last trip. Let's fire a missile. This is the other issue that I have with it. I can probably hide behind him. And I think we just crashed. All right, hello, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. So we crashed in the middle of that battle, actually, for this station here, this garrison here, which is really frustrating. Now, I know it's early access, but you gotta keep that in mind. I've had numerous crashes and one save issue where the game thought I was in combat and it would not get me out of combat. And you can't, actually, if I hit escape here and go to menu, you can't save while you're in combat. This will be grayed out. So, you know, bear that in mind. You're gonna buy into early access. You get the fun part of being able to, you know, give the devs feedback and get, you know, stuff put into the game that might not have been there if enough players didn't come forward and say, hey, we really want this feature. At the same time, you have to play the game while it's basically borked. You know, it's really early and it crashes a lot. So that is what it is. We're heading back to the space station now. I'm going to show you guys what can you buy. You can also go to planets. Like I can click this planet down here. We could go there. We can land on there, or we can land on there legitimately and pay the tax fee, which is like a couple thousand, or we can smuggle ourselves on there, which is kind of a cool feature. Though if you do get caught, I believe it lowers your faction standing or something, which is something that's not implemented yet. There's a lot of cool features that they're building into this, like faction standing and faction with like, you know, different organizations, and the fact that we'll have fleets. I'm wondering how that'll work. Like, can I get so friendly with a faction that I can call in reinforcements for a battle? And then, you know, we have two similar enemies with one of my allies, and I can go to war with them. That would be really cool. Though they haven't said anything along those lines yet. So just to speed this up, we already got full power to engines. You're gonna find you're gonna be doing this a lot, traveling from point to point. It takes a while, especially if you're going a long distance, like taking over territory that an enemy has. Okay, we're finally reached the space station again. Now, like I said, the universe is huge, and even in sublight with full power to engines, it'll take you a little while to get from point A to point B. So I went ahead and edited that out a little bit. Let's go ahead and head on over to the station. This is the station that we'll be able to upgrade. So right now it's fairly small. As I continue to play the early access, I hope to do another video as I've unlocked more stuff and really added to this. But let's go ahead and dock up. There's no docking animation. It just brings up a menu just like this. This is exactly how planets work as well right now. Bear in mind, like, the early access in this, the way the devs are describing it is the early sketch of what the game is eventually going to be. I hope a lot of this is going to get fleshed out a bit more. But here is the place where you're going to be able to upgrade your ship. You're going to be able to upgrade the gear on your ship. You're going to be able to buy new ships here at the shipyard. Notice, out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, we got 5 ships that you can buy from. All of them start in the millions, with the Nova requiring a rank of patron. Hopefully we can actually get this. And it's not locked for patrons. I didn't even know they did a Patreon, so I doubt that's what it is. I think it is actually just a rank. But that one starts at 2.7 million credits. We're at 86,000. Even though you're getting credits by the second, that's still gonna take a long time. Yeah, there's a nice selection of ships here though, and there's supposed to be like 50 ships by the time the game launches. I don't know how many are already in the game. I'm assuming that there are other stations that we'll be able to go to buy more. You cannot buy ships at the planet that you're with, so this is all you get access to right away, and they're ridiculously expensive. I was hoping that this station would give us some cheap ships, you know, kind of pick, okay, I want to be a hauler early on, so let me buy the hauler ship, and you know, it's a hauler-sized cruiser. Instead, it's like, everything must be a battleship. There's a dreadnought and a cruiser, 10 million for the cruiser. Carrier, oh, that's kind of cool looking. I actually really like the carrier. Or the Orion, 14 million. Nothing that is realistic for us to buy right now. But how do you make money? Well, you can do jobs. Here's the job board. And then the variety of missions that you can do. They are locked, I guess, to levels, so I'll probably unlock better missions as I go. We can scroll through these. There's quite a few. They're pretty fast. I mean, if I sat here and really played this pretty hardcore, I could probably make a few million in a few hours, I would bet. Convoy raid, escort missions, and some of the missions are pretty fun, like the survey one. I actually had to go out and survey this like weird energy signal that was out there, and then I had to actually pay attention because then it asks you questions like, you know, what do you see? And if you answer correctly, it'll give you bonus things to survey, and you'll go through a chain, and then you'll get paid for, you know, extra. There was a bug with one of these where I didn't get paid after doing the entire mission. That frustrated me because I actually put a little bit of time into that. But overall, quick way to make some money. You know, 113,000 for a convoy mission. There are other ways to make money. You can actually head out to asteroid belts like this here. Over here or down in the south, and do some mining. You know, you shoot them with the lasers that you've got equipped on the ship, and then you loot the rocks that pop out. Or you buy the actual equipment for it, these like drilling missiles, and you'll get some bonus material. There are mining stations like this mining operations here and here. I haven't been able to really mess with these. There is an upgrade to the station that has to do with mining, but again, millions of credits that I'm still working on acquiring. There's also salvage. This is a whole like wreckage field out here that you can go out and do the same thing you kind of do with mining. Right now, it works just about the same. And there's a junk reclaimer out there. I flew out there, wasn't able to interact with it really. I could shoot the ships that were around it, but that was it. So I'm curious if they're gonna flesh that out a bit more. Hopefully they do. Let's go ahead and dock back up though, and look at the ship customization, because the ship customization is actually pretty cool. Let's go to dry dock. So dry dock and then loadout. The 2 weapons that we have equipped, this will show what you own and what's on your ship, or what the dry dock has. Dry dock has a nice selection of weapons. Scroll through these real quick. I actually recently upgraded to a Flare 3 that does 187 damage on average, and then it shows my bonuses that I get with my character skills. You do level up in this as you do missions and explore. You'll gain experience. As you take out enemy ships, you'll gain experience, and then you'll be able to put points into a variety of different stuff. We can actually look at my skills here. There is only one class right now, which is Marshal, but there is a drop down for this when you make your character that looks like they're going to have different kind of classes that you can choose from, and it falls in line with Starpoint Gemini, the original. The perk button doesn't work yet. There's more customization coming though. Kind of cool that they're already planning it out. What kind of bonuses do you get? Well, these are activatable abilities that you probably saw on my bar. I put in a ton of points into Overpower, which increases my light weapon damage for a few seconds. And then you've got just AoE damage, all kinds of fun stuff you can customize your ship with. Hopefully we get more of this, and it's more than just stat changes, but actual like things we can see them doing. But let's see, ship, different ship gear and equipment that you can swap out and upgrade. You can even put modifiers on them. Like this is a hit point increase for my shield generator, cost me a little bit because I had like 400,000 credits, and I started dumping it all into upgrades for my weapons and different gear. So kind of cool. There is going to be where is it? A customization for the look of your ship. My garage, if I had multiple ships, but I don't yet. But that button isn't available yet. You can kind of look at your holographic version of your ship. Let's repair my hull. So, overall, oops, let's pop out. Oh, construction, here we go. This is how you upgrade your station. Notice the cost, 5 million credits. 5 million credits. This is for a hangar module. This allows you to store more of your vessels. You can get attack ops. Well, and this is the one that I really want to get. This will give you Warfleet tasks. I don't know what that does. It sounds amazing. Also, 5 million credits, though, so it's going to be a while before I actually have that unlocked. A lot of this is just huge investments, and it makes me kind of sad that you don't get really anything. The missions aren't interesting enough for me to really sit there and do enough of them to make that kind of money. Though you do generate money over time just from sitting around, so I might just do that. I might just kind of hang out in the system, do the occasional mission, and let my character gain some money. But overall, where this is at is really exciting. I mean, they're making a space sim in the kind of gameplay mechanics that I personally love. This is why I love X3 Albion Prelude. I like the idea of commanding a fleet and taking over space and having a larger impact on a universe than just running missions and making money. I love the idea of taking over territory, and the fact that this is where they're starting out at, and this is the focus of Warlords, has my total attention. Like, I want to be able to customize my fleets. I want to have a carrier group, right? I want to have a cruiser group. I want to be able to mix and match the units that I have, instead of just having, okay, I have a fleet, its power is 249. That number means nothing to me. There's no breakdown of what the fleet is made up of, and there's no customization of that fleet. I want to buy the individual units, and build them. I want to see factories building my units. Make it a version of like a strategy game almost. Don't go simple, go deep with the mechanics is what my advice would be to the developers in this. People, if you're gonna lead a fleet, we want to feel like Darth Vader and the command of an ISD watching his other Star Destroyers take on the enemy in some sector somewhere, We don't want to feel like, the guy who's regulated it just kind of pointing in one direction saying, okay, fleet that I had nothing to do with constructing and customizing, go over there and do things. And not nearly as cool. Also, lots of variety in ships. They're already saying there's going to be like 50 flyable ships in the game by the time release happens. I am down with that. That is awesome. It's one of the best things about X3 Albion Prelude, and I would love to see that in this. The biggest problem with that title was just how you commanded your fleet and how menus were. They were practically broken. And already, this title has that beat just because I can do something as simple as this. I can click the fleet and tell it to go somewhere. And you couldn't do this in the map. It was all through like number presses and really horrible menus and menus. So keep the command simple, but make it deep. Make the unit control deep and the strategy a little bit deeper. I'd love to see more stuff in the way of a living universe. Because right now, you can't really be a pirate or a jerk faction where you go around and you blow up enemy freighters and stuff, because I've not seen any freighters yet. I haven't seen anything outside of just the collection of a few enemy fighters and frigates and maybe a cruiser or two. And the main goal here is to take out these garrisons, which we have no idea to seeing how strong they are, or why I even want to take over this territory, except for a flat income increase. Yeah, it's interesting. We've got stuff like this, which makes me think there's going to be much deeper mechanics, right? This looks like some type of metal. This looks like some type of ore. I'm not sure what this one is. Maybe it's a fuel type, and there's some numbers next to it. That makes me think there's going to be some type of supply that we're going to be able to get our hands on. Maybe they'll be, setting up mining installations. Looks like they're already working toward that goal. So this is one of those early accesses that I'm really excited about. Thinking outside the box for space. I've been listening to the community's feedback. And I'll be keeping an eye on this. If you guys want to see more of Starpoint Gemini Warlords, let me know in the comments below what you would like to see. Or if you'd just like to see me do videos on the occasion when they do big patches, let me know if you're interested in that. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. And I will see you in the next video. Later, guys.